Hi, my name is Annie Roney, and my persuasive speech is over whether we should get rid of the Electoral College or not. My answer is yes, but what is it? The National Archives and Records Administration describes it as 538 votes split up by population. Because of this, a majority of 270 would win in a candidate race. Every year, these votes update for accuracy based off of population migration. The majority of votes in the state is the candidate that gets all of the state's electoral votes. According to the fairvote.org archives, Maine and Nebraska have a slightly different method where one vote goes to each district winner and the remaining votes go to the statewide winner. So Maine has 4 electoral votes, so 2 of their votes would go to one to each district, and the remaining 2 would go to their statewide winner. And then Nebraska has 5 electoral votes, so 3 of them would be reserved for the districts, and 2 of them would go to their statewide winner. But the problem is that this will never be accurate. It will never be accurate because of something called gerrymandering. Now, according to the Caltech magazine, it describes gerrymandering as a drawing of districts that are unproportional in hopes of favoring one party over another. Drawing districts is performed by the state legislatures, and they have very few limitations when drawing these districts, causing them to be weird shapes, but they are for a reason. This can politically skew and affect elections a huge amount and also cause inaccurate representation. Now, an example is 40% of the population being red and 60% being blue. Now, you would think that it would be a blue state, but based off of drawing districts, there are many different ways to draw this as both a red and a blue state. Because of this, it's unfair and the inaccurate representation will affect majorly. Now, a problem example is that state 1, which is a blue state, had 31 blue votes and 30 red votes. This state has 7 electoral votes, but in state 2, there's 6 blue votes and 20 red votes. The amount of electoral votes this second state has is 4. Overall, there's 37 blue voters and 50 red voters. Because state 1 has 7 and state 2 has 4, the blue candidate would still win in this scenario, even though there's more red voters, which is obviously a big problem because, again, inaccurate representation in these elections. Getting rid of the Electoral College would also guarantee equal attention for all citizens. This would eliminate battleground and swing states that can really end up swinging the election. And this would cause the candidates to show equal commitment to all of their citizens. Based on a usnews.com article, the states that were swing states in this previous election were Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. Consequently, these were the states that had the most political campaigns and rallies in them. Many states don't even get one rally because the candidates are guaranteed these states. This, however, is unfair for an obvious reason. There shouldn't be 62 rallies held in Pennsylvania and 0 rallies held in Ohio, even though some of the same people can be traveling back and forth between these 2 very close states, but the president shouldn't be guaranteed states. It should be every person for themselves. The Electoral College also undermines the one person, one vote notion that the Founding Fathers originally had when they created this, because based off of the last example, when there's 31 blue voters in one state and also 30 red voters in that same state, being a red voter doesn't really matter because it's already a blue state. It's one vote. Your votes as a red person in that state would theoretically not count. Now, this is also an outdated system. The Founding Fathers got the concept from England. Colombia, Chile, France, Finland, and Argentina all adopted this same electoral college system way back when, but they soon got rid of it because of the bad results that they got from it and how they saw it was affecting people. According to a MissouriIndependent.com article, we are the only democratic presidential system that still uses the electoral college. Now, according to the Stanford Alumni Magazine, there's currently a national popular vote interstate compact in which states agree to give their electoral votes to the candidate that receives the most votes nationwide. 17 states have already agreed to this, and those add up to 203, so possibly in the next few years, this might be a bigger deal and maybe even happen soon. Another possible option for voting is two-round voting. Now, a lot of nations have adopted the two-round voting system, which is the first vote, which is just a popular vote, goes out to everybody. They can vote for whoever they like, and the top two most candidates with the most votes go on to a second round, and the majority wins between those two. So over 50% would win the election in the second round of that voting. Now, how could this be a bad thing, though? Some problems that came up on the Stanford magazine was that it can cause tension between the population, but I believe that this is already happening surrounding politics and also elections. Another thing is unreliable vote tallies. Because it is a popular vote, every vote counts. So a measure I would do to fix this is make the people that run the voting ballots and stuff go through more steps to make sure that they are reliable and all the votes are coming in. And also, changing something this big is a really big deal because it's in the Constitution. It's been the same for many, many years. And also, the people in Washington won't go out of their way to change it because it's working well for them. And it's been working even though it is a corrupted system. In conclusion, it will never truly be accurate, and getting rid of the Electoral College could solve the problem for equal attention for every citizen. It's an outdated and complicated system, and it needs to be improved. And we are trying every measure we can to improve it. So, thank you.